Hello, everybody. This is episode 16 of the Next Generation of Superstars podcast. We are very grateful and fortunate to have Tyrece Woods with us here today. He's originally from Detroit, Michigan, plays defensive tackle at Central Michigan University. Thank you for being on the show.
Oh, no problem. It's a pleasure to be on it today.
Absolutely, man. When did your passion for the game of football really start? Was it when you were young? And can you kind of give our audience a little bit more background on how you started your journey?
It kind of started when I was young. Originally the second contact sport that I ever started playing was basketball outside of baseball. And it was I was kind of too physical on the basketball court. And my basketball coaches were actually football coaches also, and just invited me to come out and try out for the team or whatever. And I was pretty good at it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And with those coaches in mind, was there any specific coaches or mentors that really helped you kind of sharpen your craft as you really started to take your career more seriously, getting into the sport?
As I started taking it more serious, coaches like Dedrick Griffin, my 14U head coach, Kevin Rogers, he was also one of my coaches at the youth level from 13U and 14U, and he also was my offensive coordinator my senior year in high school. And with those two guys, it was just always instilling confidence and always making sure I was in the right frame of mind, because I always had the talent, whether it was raw or natural. It was just sometimes I couldn't always put it together because I was always in my head sometimes.
Yeah, and going off that, being a student athlete, you have so much going on, and especially when you're in a game, how do you really manage that the mental aspect, right? And actually blocking out the noise and stuff that you hear when you're in the game. What is something, or what are your strategies that you've used that's helped you, especially when you're in the game?
With pregame distractions, I kind of just zone it out by just staying present in that moment. Right. Never letting the moment get too big or too low, and just riding that wave or just locked in and just staying cool, calm, and collected. That's how I always carry myself in real life too. So
it's a great way to put it. And it's a great perspective to have on life, to be able to actually maintain your composure in anything you're doing. Have you noticed a lot of support, from your family or even friends or fans as you've gone throughout your journey so far? What does that support look like for you?
Mainly my immediate family, from my parents. That's where the most support comes from. And then the two coaches that I mentioned before. And also I have two mentors that I call my uncle and sometimes my second parents. Darnell Hall, he that name might ring a bell for some people. He was an Olympic gold medalist. He ran on a 4x400 relay team that won gold back in the 80s.
It's awesome.
And then Chris Huff, those two guys, no matter the time of day, no matter when it is, or how low of a space I am in, I could always count on them and call on them when I need something in that sort.
That's incredible. And, going off that they've given you so much help and kind of given a helping hand to you and really teaching you the ropes of everything that you're learning, being a student athlete, being able to play at the Division I level and kind of being, seeing your community back home in Detroit. What does that community support look like? And how do you have plans on giving back to your community and really helping them out as you continue to succeed in your career?
Yeah. So with any athlete in Detroit, you got the whole city behind you, no matter what sport it is. Everybody in Detroit wants to see the athletes make it out and do something better. So I do feel I'll give back to my community in Detroit, because there's various programs and different people that had a hand in to where I'm at today and where I'm going to in the future. So giving back is definitely something that's going to be huge for me.
I love it. And that's just so incredible to be able to have, that voice to do that, right? And to be able to actually have that, platform to give back and be able to do great things for the community. I know you just said you got back from academics and school, and you're still balancing everything out, being a student athlete. What does that routine look like, both in season and even off season for you being a student athlete at CMU?
So right now in the off season, I got a routine of getting up at 5:30 every morning. I'm in our first live group that starts at 7. So like I'll go in the building, I'll knock out a few like homework assignments for the week, get some treatment in, and like basically just get my mind ready for like the workout that morning. And then like from the workout, I'm straight to academics to like get some more work done. That way, like I'm ahead and not like always falling behind with stuff. And like with me, most of my classes are online, so like I got most of my days to myself. So I like
That's
find some
awesome.
time to like get an extra lift or like go to like one of the other like sporting events around campus.
I love it. And has there been any memorable moments in your career so far at CMU that you look back on and you're just grateful to have had that experience? You know, whether it's been any, plays that are really memorable for you or anything that you can really just, off the top of your head, think of that it's been, something that's been a great experience, for you as an athlete there.
Since I've been here, like every day has just like been really great. But one moment that really like sticks out was last year against Western Michigan. Well, not last year, but 2021. It was like the first time we beat Western in like 10 years and kind of got the victory cannon back. And like that was also like my first start of the season. And like I kind of it was like basically my coming out party of the season. Like I had a game, I had 6 tackles, I had a forced fumble and stuff like that. So that was
It's
like one of
incredible.
my best memories.
I love it. I love it. And I'm sure you've been able to build such a strong bond with your teammates. Has there been any, funny stories or anything that you could share that's been just something that really sticks out to you with your teammates as you guys have kind of grown that bond over these past couple of years?
Every day is just something new. Like we got a team full of like characters and like funny people. So like it's always something going on. It's not
That's
like
great.
I ain't got no favorite story, but it's every day is just something new to look forward to because of how the guys are in the locker room.
That's awesome. And it probably gives you guys such a great team culture, right? And I think that's so important as you continue to get to the next level. You want to be able to have that culture you can build off of and allows you to be excited for it every day. And I think that's something that's special to have.
Yeah, like it's like here at Central Michigan, it's a special place to be. Not only like with the locker room, but like everyone around campus, like even with other sports, like faculty members, like other students. It's like a family atmosphere. So like you could get help with almost anything you need help with, no matter what it is, because that's the environment up here and the culture of like the campus.
Right. That's awesome. And has there been any specific skills that you've learned in your time there, whether it's been from your teammates, your classes, or coaches? Any skills that you've really taken away that you have that help you to this day?
Really, just like more. I learned like a lot more about like self-awareness and like self-management because I'm a guy that like struggle with depression from time to time. So like just knowing like it's okay to like talk about it and like get help. Like that's been like one of the biggest things that I've learned being here.
Absolutely. And that's a huge topic that's so important is mental health awareness, right? And so what's helped you the most, or how are you an advocate and really raising that awareness that it is okay to ask for help? And how do you manage your mental health on a day-to-day basis?
I actually like I see a therapist twice a week, and like we'll talk from like whether it's like 30 minutes to like an hour, like sometimes longer than that. But
Right.
basically like just like reflecting a week and like what's been happening and stuff like that, like just to make sure I'm like always in that like positive frame of mind. Like something that I try to live by is like positive vibes only.
I love it.
That way, like I'm never like too low or like get too low.
Absolutely. And that's so crucial to be able to have someone to speak with that can help in that aspect. And I think it doesn't matter what industry you're in, if you're an athlete or non-athlete, it is so crucial to take your mental health serious, right? You have to train your mental, health as just as much as you train your physical health. And having that balance is so critical. Switching gears a little bit into your passions outside of football, have there been any, what are some of your key passions or maybe even business ventures that you're looking to start or have started that you really love to do?
So me, I'm real passionate about like giving back to the next person. So one thing that I really want to do, like after I'm done with football, is I want to go back into coaching. That way I could like pay it forward to the next generation.
That's awesome. And have you taken any steps of learning whether it's been from your coaches or former coaches of really, anything that you've learned that you want to, really take away to use and utilize if you're going to be a coach?
Like one of the biggest things that like I take away from like each coach that like I come in contact with is basically like culture building. That's like you can't do anything without a solid culture and like solid foundation. So that's the start of everything. I just like take bits and pieces of like how I want to have a program and go from there.
Is there any specific level you would like to coach at, after, let's say you have a successful career in the NFL and now you're retired and you want to go back to coach? Is there any, specific level, whether, it's the youth level or a high school or a collegiate that you're passionate about coaching?
Collegiate level, that's like what I'm actually like eager toward. But I do want to start off at the high school or youth level, like if I have the opportunity. But I really want to be a college offensive coordinator.
I love it. And you're on the right path to get there as you're going throughout your career and then even after. What does your vision look like so far? How many more years of eligibility do you have at CMU? And are you looking to really take that to the next level, entering the NFL?
I have 2 more. I'm actually like, don't quote me on this, but in God's hands, like I'm trying to have a season to where like I don't have to spend 2 more seasons and like try to like get this year done.
That's awesome. I love it. Well, we're wishing you, all the success possible to be able to do that and get to that next level, being into the NFL. Going into, important factor that's happened, since you being a student athlete in your career so far, the NIL and that really coming into fruition the summer of 2021. What was your thoughts when you saw that happen? That's allowing for student athletes like yourself to actually go out, find these brands, monetize your NIL, get closer with fans and really raise more awareness about yourself?
Like my original thoughts was just like going out to like put on a show to make sure like my product matches what the business wants and like to make sure I'm worthy of that paycheck or whatever. Even though like NIL has never like been like a big thing with me. Like I just want to put in the work and like get to the next level and like pay it forward to the next generation, like I said. But
yep, absolutely. And kind of staying with, what we're doing, helping athletes like yourself at Burst, and as well as you were one of that 20 athletes that went live with your portfolio last month on Virtual Stacks, our partner platform. What were those, what was your initial reaction to that, seeing that you could actually generate revenue from that and be able to pay that forward and really helping your fans get closer with you on that level?
Man, like, I was excited. Like it was a great experience. Like I can't even like imagine it. Like I was just waking up every day, like just talking about it with different people, and like just
That's
seeing
awesome.
like what they thought and stuff like that. But like it was a great experience that I really enjoyed.
I love it. And that's just the beginning. We have your secondary sales opening up Friday, and this is a big year for Burst as we continue to help more of our athletes and athletes across the nation, right, to be able to go and get their foot in the door in this Web3 sports industry. What are some of your big goals this year as we're into 2023 now, halfway through January? What are some goals that you have for yourself, whether it's business related or as an athlete or just as an individual?
As an individual, I want to like stay consistent to the routine that I currently just started like at the start of this year. As an athlete, I just want to like be a consistent leader. I want to go all conference this year, win conference defensive player of the year, and be an All-American.
I love it. That's all great goals, and you're on the right track to be able to accomplish those. For the fans and the youth and the people in our audience that are watching this podcast, what are some, what are 3 key lessons or things that you've experienced that have really helped you the most throughout your career that you would pass down to this next generation to help them out?
Never look for anybody else's validation. That's the biggest thing, because like sometimes I did get caught in trying to please other people instead of pleasing myself in a moment. Because like at the end of the day, like even though you're trying to like make it for some people, like you win it for yourself.
Right. I love it. Anyway, what about the other 2 things, other 2 lessons that really helped you out?
2 other things, like just like stay true to who you are. Like you ain't got to change for nobody. Like you ain't got to go out and party just because your teammates doing it. Like if you a square, like it ain't nothing wrong with being a square. And
Yep.
then lastly, just like creating a routine and like being consistent with it. It's like your routine gonna take you a long way in college athletics because it keeps you accountable to yourself and like accountable to all the other things that you're there in college to do.
Absolutely. No, those are all great pieces of advice. And just to recap that, Tyrece, you said number one, never look for anyone else's validation. Two, always stay true to yourself. And three, create a routine and be consistent. And I think you are definitely a living example of doing all three of those lessons and I'm able to apply it to your life. And I hope the people in our audience can understand that and apply it in their own way that can help them as everyone's on their own unique path in their life journey. So Tyrece Woods Jr. here, we really appreciate you for being on our episode. Please go follow him all over social media and stay tuned for his another great season coming up next fall.
Thanks for having me. Like I'm really excited for this drop this week. Like it's coming a day before my birthday, so I'm like real excited.
That's awesome. His birthday's coming up, so happy early birthday to you, Tyrece.
Thank you. I appreciate it.